Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about how you can ethically bribe your audience and grow it by up to 50% for absolutely free. I'm going to show you how to do it today. Let's get stuck in. I'm currently doing this for the second time. I'm in the midst of doing it right now, which is why I'm kind of so excited about it, and it's kind of on the tip of my tongue and I want to share it with you guys. It's a little trick that I've picked up from one of my mentors, a guy called Travis Sago. If you're not checking him out, then you should. He's pretty quiet kind of like mentor, though you don't really hear much from him. But this is a tip I picked up from him, and I ran with it about 4 months ago, and it absolutely blew up, right? I've got a free group, the Pay Per Lead Ninjas. My videographer will put a link to it up here, and you can see exactly what I'm doing and how it's all going on, right? You know, what I did was that I've got this free group that I wanted to grow, and you know, a lot of people will talk about, you know, posting a lot of content on a lot of other platforms and, you know, maybe running some paid ads in order to grow that group, or reaching out to other influencers that might want to share your group and stuff like that. And, you know, that all works and it's all good, but this is something that can blow it up extremely quickly if you get it right, okay? And the way I did it and why it works so well is I offered like an ethical bribe, right? So I made an announcement that I was going to help them with something that was really going to solve a big problem for them. And it just happened to be that was showing them how to land B2B clients with Facebook lead forms, right? It was something new and different and special that they hadn't seen before. It had been working really well for us as an agency inside my community. And I said to my free group, listen, we've got this new thing. It's automatic appointments. It's just gonna, like, if you turn these ads on, you're gonna have people booking into your calendar for calls, you know, within the same day, all right? And you can land clients very quickly, especially if you've got a really strong offer like Pay Per Lead. So what I said was that I'm going to teach you how to do this in an Ask Me Anything webinar. And I'm thinking about putting it on, but only if I get a certain number of people that kind of share my group, okay? And if I get enough interest and you share the group and you tag a screenshot of the share, then what I'll do is I'll schedule in this Ask Me Anything webinar off the back of it. And then if I get enough shares, then we'll do it, okay? And what happened was that because I was solving such a big problem for my audience, and I think we had about 4,800 people in that audience at the time, like it went from 4,800 to about 6,000 in about a week, I think. Maybe a little bit long, maybe 10 days. But it just did it exceptionally well. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the kind of steps if you want to try this yourself inside your own community. Perhaps, you know, you haven't got a community, if so this doesn't apply to you, but other people do, right? So this might be helpful. I'm going to run you through the steps of what this looked like. Okay, so the first step, I guess, is to kind of warm the audience up and figure out whether what you're offering is going to solve the problem for them and whether there's going to be enough demand. Okay, so for me, I always like to do this with a big, you know, those big posts inside a Facebook group where you've just kind of got like a banner. It's got a clear color background and you can put big white words and you can't really miss it. It's very obvious. They just seem to get a lot of reach and a lot of engagement when you do this. But I kind of just put a post up. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm doing one at the moment that basically says, are you interested in TikTok ads for competitive pay per lead niches? ? Or something like that. Comment below, all right? And what you'll see is that if you've got a big enough, and by the way, that's not good copy. I'd definitely tweak that a little bit. But what you'll see is that you start getting a lot of people kind of liking and commenting and all of that type of stuff, right? And I'm just trying to see at this point in time whether there's enough of demand and there's enough people that want this kind of thing that's going to help solve them a problem. And if you've done your research and you know your audience pretty well, then what you'll find is that you'll just see like tons of comments coming in, right? It doesn't matter how big or small your group is, you're going to get some good engagement, right? So after I see that, I know that I'm onto something, right? The next day I'll send another post out, okay? And what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll right click on the date on that post inside my Facebook group, and I'll copy that link, and then I'll copy and paste that into a Facebook post. And then I'll talk about how I've got this idea to be able to put this training on, but only if I get enough interest and enough people to like and share my group, okay? Again, you can go into my group and check it all out and have a look how I'm doing it. And then I'll copy and paste the link from the day before into that post, and it kind of like magically kind of appears attached to that post so they can see what happened yesterday. Once I get this out, the community can start seeing that there's kind of this bribe is there, okay? They know what they have to do, and they know that there's going to be something that's really good at the end of it if they do me a favor, and in return I'll give them their webinar, their ask me anything, or whatever that kind of ethical bribe is. Okay, so that's the first thing. You do this for a few days, and then you announce to the group that this big thing's going to happen, and then you move on to stage 2, which I'll talk about now. Your audience now knows this cool thing is happening, and they now know that there needs to be a certain number of shares of this free group. And now what they need is instructions to kind of make this happen. All right, so what I do is I have like a Google Doc where I pretty much write the post for the individuals in my group, okay? And it doesn't have to be perfect. And you also want to kind of say to them they need to put this into their own words, right? But let's say I've got a member of my group, Joe Blogs, he's in my group and he wants to share. I want to make it as easy as possible for him to share, okay? So what I'll do is I'll grab the copy in my Google Doc and I'll copy and paste it over to that individual, and also give him an image to post that goes with that copy, and then I'll tell him to put the link to my free group inside the first comment of his post. And then I'll just say, dude, go ahead and post it, tag me in that post, and if possible, please take a screenshot of the posts, and I'll talk about that in a sec as well, what we do with that, all right? So at this point in time, I'm trying to kind of individually message and reach out to the people that have raised their hand and said they're willing to do this, give them instructions, and then get them to manually do this, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of testing and experimenting to make sure that everything works. And at this point in time, you'll start seeing people posting, and you'll start seeing like some kind of people come in, and especially if your followers have got followers, right? You'll start seeing people coming in, and if you get the right person, this can be hundreds of people very quickly, okay? So that's the kind of next step, and then I'll move on to step 3, which is kind of like pouring some fuel on the fire. Now you've done your little experiment with a handful of people that are willing to do this for you. What you want to do then is take their instructions that's worked and put them into a Facebook post where people inside the group can see exactly what they need to do. All right, so you'll remind them of what you're doing here, why you're kind of ethically bribing them to give them something that really helps them. And then you're going to put down the exact instructions that you gave the people, the small group of people beforehand, and you'll post those instructions inside the Facebook group. And this is key, right? You'll ask people to follow their instructions, then post a screenshot of their post inside that Facebook comment, all right? And what you'll see is that all of these people are so kind of pumped to be able to help you out and to be able to do you a favor in return for what you're getting. They're going to start posting, and then other people see the post, and then they'll just kind of copy and paste because it makes them feel good when they're helping someone out. We underestimate this sometimes, right? I'll get that post ready to go, and then I'll start pointing some traffic at it. And there's a few different ways to do that. The first one is to obviously just post it and let Facebook's organic methods kind of like show the post to the right people. And the second one I like to do is, because I've got the email address of my audience, I'll copy and paste the link in the Facebook group and email that out to my audience and explain what's going on. And then they'll kind of enter the group, and it just kind of adds fuel to the fire. And lastly, I also I've got SMS of my audience as well, phone numbers of my audience. So I'll get my sales team to send SMSs out and explain to people what's going on in my community, right? Because salespeople, they don't always have to sell, right? They can help grow an audience like this, right? And in my opinion, what happens when you grow an audience by 25 to 50%, sales start popping so easily and so quickly, you don't know whether you're coming or going, right? Because you've just suddenly got a whole new audience coming into your offer. So I'll get my sales team to really kind of buy into what we're doing. And then I'll start, asking them to kind of reach out to the old sales contacts or people that they've engaged with before. And I'll just get them to push this thing that I'm doing, this offer, this group growth type offer thing. And then I guess the final step is that once they've done all of this and your audience has shared and they're keen, you just want to go ahead and give them that thing, right? So for me, last time it was an ask me anything about how to land clients without appointment setters or cold calls or cold email. And they watched that and they loved it. And then I actually made an offer to people that turned up off the back of that, ask me anything, right? And we did really well out of it, okay? But that's another story altogether. Hopefully you're following what I'm doing. It is a little bit complicated. There is some copy skills involved. And as I said, feel free to come and join my pay-per-lead ninjas and have a look at what's going in there. And you might pick up some tips and tricks, okay? That's my group, the pay-per-lead ninjas. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've followed what I'm saying. If you do have an audience, please give this a go because it just works so well. It really does. If you've got any questions, ask some questions in the comments below. If you did like this video, give us a thumbs up so we know to create more videos like this. And finally, subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more videos like this. I'll speak to you soon.